Howdy folks, welcome back to Archean. I'm gonna actually say that right now that I've learned what it's actually pronounced like. I said it wrong the first two episodes, but should have it right now. And as you can see, I've moved the base, and I've done a little bit of stuff here in between episodes. So let's dive in and take a look. I'm in the no-clip fly mode here. Makes for some good panoramic? No. Cinematic shots. So I've got a little solar tower here, and you'll notice it's vibrating. we'll go over that. It's vibrating just a little bit. All right, let's go back to normal mode. Chunk. So I basically have all the same stuff, and then a little more of what we had last time. I just moved it over here. I got a new base set up right next to the shore, and I've built some stuff like paint tool. Did a little bit of painting. Turn my light on here. So that's cool. And I learned some things about these junction boxes and the item sorter. There's actually a bug. This does not save the stack size or the filter, unfortunately. There's a bug. It's on the Discord. Hopefully it'll get fixed. You can set a filter for rocks and the stack size of 100. What I discovered is the default stack size of 0 means it transfers everything at once. So if you have 100,000 rocks in here, it'll instantly transfer those to the crusher and they instantly get converted. That's the way it works right now. I'm sure that's not the long-term goal. So I just set up the item conveyor so it just brings 100 over at a time. It's still like, 100, and it takes less than a second to process them. But that just makes you have to actually run the crusher for a little bit. Be a little more realistic maybe, but another thing I learned is the drill. If I hit V on the drill, you can see our efficiency. The efficiency only shows when it's running. So let's turn it on. There we go. So you can see depth is 208 meters. Efficiency 81%. So what I discovered is the deeper you go, the less efficient it gets, the less stuff you'll get. So you will eventually have to move your drill, which is cool. I'm fine with that. I've done quite a bit of drilling. The other little tool I've made is the, so I made the paint tool, lets you paint stuff, pretty straightforward. Made a label tool, which, surprisingly enough, lets you label stuff. So I've labeled the switches here. And then I've made a computer, a crafter, and then a hard drive for the computer. So what we're going to work on in the video today is automated crafting. And I went to the Steam Workshop and I found a auto crafting script that looked pretty cool. So I'm going to run that and we'll see how I get along. Now I could do some programming, but I'm not the best programmer in the world and I don't have a ton of time right now to sit down and figure it all out. So I will be using some stuff from the Steam Workshop and I'll put links in the video description. So crafter. This took a lot of stuff. I had to do a lot of crafting in my suit and gathering of resources with the drill, waiting on that. But the crafter does kind of just what you'd think. It takes in parts and you tell it what to craft, either on an interactive screen that it has built in or via computer control. So I needed to bring in parts and then it's gonna spit out parts as well. It looks like the screen is on that side. And I want some room for the stuff to come in. So maybe we'll have it set out here. We can set up a little wall. Let's just plop that down. So it has inputs for the items and then the two types of gases and power and computer. I don't have any gases just yet, so we're gonna have to build that as well. That's the crafter. And it has a screen here once it's powered up. So what we can do is I think we can have it, I think it pulls and pushes, possibly. So let's hook that up to our container. We come over here and then hook into that. So I may want to have that hook into the other one. Let's redo that. Let's have that one go to this guy. It's weird, some of this stuff doesn't always line up with the grid, unfortunately. So that's alright. We'll come over like... I want to get in the way of the other one. I think that'll work. This doesn't really necessarily matter that much. I just like to keep it kind of neat. Kind of just guide it around like that. Then I think that will let it both pull resources out and put stuff back in the container. I don't think it needs an item puller, or item conveyor, but it might. We shall see. So that takes care of that, and then we need some power over here, which is the high voltage. So you can see I've added a second battery, and then we'll go over that solar power here in just a bit. I've got a little light here, just a little extra light at night. The suit light helps quite a bit. So we need power off of here. I've already got this guy set up as another way to feed power. Hook onto that, and then we're going to go down. I'm going to go out around that one, at least for now. We're going to go kind of down through here. You can just send it right through the middle of everything. It doesn't matter too much. Unfortunately, I didn't leave any room here to get over that. So let's try a different tactic. Let's get back over to here. And I can lay this along this conduit. If I push shift, I can actually, if I hold down shift, I can actually lay the cable on components themselves. Light back on. So we have it come over that. Have it kind of come back along here, and you don't, I mean, you could just run stuff through everywhere. Kind of want it to come up over though. I do that. It's a little goofy, but gets the job done. You hear it spinning up. So this requires a mini computer to make. So it has its own little computer inside of it. And then it has a built-in program that it just runs. And you just use F to interact with it. So we could say parts capacitor. Of course, it won't do anything because it doesn't have the things necessary to manufacture that. But what we're also going to have is a computer. And I'm thinking we might put this up on a platform, actually. So let's get some... Did I do composite, or was I doing... I think I was doing... Yeah, I'm doing concrete for all of the structure here, so... Let's go for concrete. And let's just build a... Let's build a little wall right here. We'll have like a little platform for that computer to sit on. Alright, so we'll come across and then out. Something like that. Then let's plop that computer right on top here. And that should be enough room. So now we need power over to this guy. And do I have any... I do have spare power here. I'm going to be a little... maybe a little less neat with this one. So we're going to come over to here and then along the floor. Up over here and then into the side. Like that. Beautiful. Okay, then the computer boots up, and it says, hey, please insert a hard drive. So this little hard drive slot right here is like a tray. You can have 4 hard drives, and then this is the one that's active. So I've already preloaded the files on here. So I didn't have to do a bunch of copying and pasting in the video. So if we go look at code, this is all the code that makes this AutoCrafter thing work. And it's really, really powerful. It's really well done. Like I said, I'll have a link to the video in the video description to the workshop page for this. But one thing we need to do is we need to name our crafter, and then I think we need to name our container. Seems like I remember reading that somewhere. So we need to get these wired up, but before we do that, let's go ahead and name this guy. So we just hit V on here. We're going to call it Crafter. Pretty sure that's how that works. Crafter main. So if we go to main, inventories. Yeah, it's supposed to be called container. Then we need to name our tanks, tank O2, tank H2, tank H2O. All right. So we're going to name our container over here, container. And then we need to get a data cable hooked up to these guys from the computer. Don't think it matters which port it's in. I think it finds it by name. But some of this is experimentation because I haven't done this yet. So I'm going to come down to the floor. Over here and then up into that port. Ah, it's ugly. I don't like it. There we go. Come down. Across the floor. Over to there, and then in like that. Then our container, it has to be able to read and see what's in the container, so it needs a little data port from the container itself. So I'm going to run this across the floor as well. Over the top there. Not the best cable management ever. Okay, so those two are hooked up. Let's go ahead and reboot this. And then this has stuff in it. So in theory, we should be able to make like wire, because that just takes silicon and copper. So let's test that theory. If we go to parts, I keep wanting to use the mouse on here, but that doesn't work. And we click wire. Does that work? Oh, right. I'm doing it through the wrong thingy. No, it doesn't work because it doesn't know how to craft the prerequisites. That's the whole reason we have this thing. All right. Let's do this over on the right screen. Okay, so here it sees we have 138 copper in the container and no plastic, but it should craft the plastic. It says queue error, but that can be normal depending on missing resources, wire and plastic. Okay, I might have to do some troubleshooting. Let's go ahead and favorite that. because it may not be able to do the parts. I might have to have an item conveyor. I'm not 100% sure. All right, stop. So clearly something's not right. Let's go back to settings. We'll go to sleep to save power, which is cool. And you can even hook up a relay to your crafter, so it'll power down your crafter when it's sleeping. Very cool features. All right, let me put a break in here. I'm going to go see what the problem is with it getting stuff out of the container, and I'll be right back. All right, the problem was me. I forgot to make plastic. You also need basically water. If we look in the backpack, we need oxygen and hydrogen, so it couldn't make the plastic because it doesn't have the gases coming in. But I can make stuff that doesn't require gases, like screws. So I can just, I think if I hit this button, yeah, it just makes 10. And this crafts way faster than your suit does. And there we go. We got screws in there. There's my test screw and then the 10 I just did. Another cool thing is if you have this up, you can drag this anywhere and then just click back on the game. And it's in full view. And why is the item conveyor seem a little buggy? Oh, I always put an S on here, that's why. It's just rock, it's not rocks. Again, my problem. Choink, there it goes. And then if you just tap Alt, you can just close that again. You're good to go. All right, I need to, I wonder if there's a way to disable this screen so I don't, I'm not dumb. So the other thing we can do is we can tell it to keep a certain amount of the stuff in stock. And I don't remember if you have to do that with the favorites. Favorites and auto queue. Yeah, I think maybe you have to put it in favorites. But so if I want to have a certain amount of wire like always in stock, actually let me just go ahead and transfer all the materials over for now. So I want to keep blocks. I'll keep some of this stuff. Connectors. Some of this bigger stuff that I've made. I was playing around with glass blocks. Steel blocks. Yeah, we'll keep the blocks on us. This can go in there. Yeah, that's all good. So then it has lots of pieces and bits and bobs. But anyway, if I click on auto, I could say maintain, always maintain 100 wire. It's going to go, okay, I don't have 100 wire, so let me just craft that up for you real quick. So that way you have a stock always in place. So I can do the same thing for other things. A lot of things use circuits. So I'm gonna favorite that. But I can tell it to keep, you know, 2 circuits in stock. And casings, we always need casings. What's the other big one? Connectors. We're always needing connectors for things. I don't want to get too wild, but kind of get the idea. All right, so if I go back to my auto queue, I can click on circuits. I can say always maintain 2. And then it's going to fly through. You view the queue. See, it's making diodes, it's making panels, and it's done. Bada boom. Oh no, it's missing resources because it needs to make some more wire. So it does have an error. I wonder, can I craft that in my suit? The other thing I've discovered, I went through and watched like all the tutorials on their YouTube channel. So if I click and drag this, and then was it right click? Right click puts 1 down. I hit is it shift right click? Yeah, shift right click does half a stack. Drag this down, shift right click. Put that back somewhere in the middle of the screen. And then I can just go craft up some wire. Because I can do that in my suit. Throw that in there, and then how is the... It needs more plastic. Okay, so it needs 34 plastic. All right. I need to get the next video will be probably the electrolyzer and all that setup so we can get some gases in here, but I do need some. I should have kept a lot of this stuff in my suit. So we are going to need a lot of this stuff. We'll just do that. I don't think we need tungsten for anything. All right, back over to crafting. Let me just hit, so shift right click, or sorry, I'll shift left click. We'll do 50. This is craft up a bunch of plastic. I'm gonna open this guy again. Throw that in there. It's like, oh, I've got plastic now. I'm all happy. There you go. Very cool program. That's gonna help a lot, especially because in an episode or two, I want to start on my rover. So next video will be getting the electrolyzer set up so we can get the gases we need over here in our crafting. And then other than some of the exotics, we'll have everything we need to craft. But to close out the video, let's just cover this solar panel real quick. So one neat thing is you don't even need a computer for this. Now a computer would make this, you know, more ideal and it wouldn't be shaking. But all you really need is, this is a hinge right here, and then this is a solar sensor. And you just hook the data ports of those together, and it tracks the sun. The only thing you have to make sure is when you're laying down a hinge, there's a plus and a minus direction. And also when you're laying down the solar sensor, there's a plus and minus direction. You make sure those are aligned. So yeah, one hinge, and then the rest of this is just composite blocks and solar panels. And it tracks the sun. It does shake, so I'll probably make a computer at some point to have a better solar tracking program. And it could actually, you could have a twist and a hinge. Kind of like if you've done it in Space Engineers. Kind of the same thing. We have a computer program that would then do that. One little thing, since you have the hinge, is I went ahead and used one of these bridges. Then that lets you use a flexible cable here so it can move. And then I have power from the battery coming up to the hinge rather than solar panels trying to power the hinge, just so it works at night. Doesn't have to try to bootstrap itself. So there you have it. We're making progress. Next episode, we're going to do the electrolyzer and get that all hooked up so we can get our gases. And then I think the episode after that will be starting to build a rover so we can go explore. We need to be able to get aluminum is one of the next big hurdles. And I believe aluminum is up high. I think the way it works, at least right now, heavier stuff you go down, lighter stuff you go up. And then there's ore scanners. That's quite an undertaking. There's lots to do. So all that and much more, as Splitsy would say. Splitsy's a great channel, by the way. Go check him out. If you like Archean, check out Splitsy's other channel, Flipsy. He's been doing a bunch of stuff on there. Thanks for watching, folks. I'll catch you in the next one. Take care.